On to our next story now, as the SANDF gears up to withdraw its troops in the Eastern DRC. Our reporter Khayelihle Khumalo is about to speak to Defence and Military Veterans Minister Angie Motshekga about the withdrawal process. We cross now live to him. Good afternoon.
Well, certainly, Jill, it's a very important time for South Africa. As you know, that there was an update in terms of the withdrawal of DRC. It was a decision taken by the SADC leaders, but really just to look at how far with the process. We do have Minister Motshekga here with us. Minister, thank you so much for your time and welcome to SABC News. And I suppose that is indeed a very first question. How far with the process in terms of the withdrawal?
You know, it's work in progress since we did a media briefing that the movement is still happening towards Tanzania. So we have already moved our prime equipment, the key people who are going to look at the safe passage, but also the equipment. So it's really work in progress. And that's why I've not given an update now, because it's work in progress. I know we had said we'll be done by the 28th of May. And I think we underestimated the terrain. What we agreed last week with the generals, that we will give an exact date when we really are much more settled. But what is happening is movement between report at this stage, which is different. For saying cars are moving. I think we have already transported about 57 big trucks, which because we transported our prime equipment first, it's going to come by boat, so that is also work in progress. In the meantime, we're deploying or sending back our human resources or our gradually, but I promise, Kaya, as soon as we have a much more different report, except for the report that trucks are on the road moving up and down, we will be able to give you a briefing. So we possibly can even do it, General, by maybe next week, just to say concrete how many people have arrived. But now it's really movement of trucks.
And obviously, Minister, for you to reach this point, you had to collaborate with a number of countries, the likes of Rwanda and also the actual point in Chato in Tanzania. Are you still receiving the cooperation in terms of those member states?
No, completely. Completely. What would have been seen as tensions between ourselves and Rwanda, I think they're being managed. We're working through the AU, working through the UN, we're working through SADC. So really it's not so much of the South African issue. It's a regional, it's a continental, but it's also an international matter. And that's why I think the movement is, except for the difficult driving terrain, everything else up to now in terms of safety, in terms of relations, is going well.
And are the troops, Minister, still receiving the essentials? Are they still getting all the required things for them to be well sustained there?
You know, from the report I got, was immediately after the city press said they're running short of stock, I quickly contacted the Chief of Defence to say what is happening. He was saying he's not sure where the report comes from, it's unfounded. Coming until we're relieved by the UN, and in the DRC there isn't the report of the city press. He assured me that it's unfounded. Things are well.
And just before I let you go, Minister, the UN Peacekeeping mission, obviously MONUSCO will remain there, but maybe just as a last question, the issue of commitment of South Africa. We know the country's foreign policy. This has been a very integral part of it in terms of peacekeeping mission. You went in Munich, in Germany, where this was quite a very important issue.
No, it was a very important conference, and I'm happy that as South Africa we attended. There were more than 100 countries represented, almost 80 ministers from different parts of the world who came to attend, and a clear commitment as part of the UN mission to say if we have to keep the world safe, peacekeeping is one of the key instruments. But we also acknowledge that to have peace, you have to be war ready. And therefore, what is it that we do to keep war away? or any difficulties away. And we agree that peacekeeping is key, that we have to be vigilant as well to make sure where there are conflicts, we can come in. So what would have happened, especially from our past, every country had to say what is it committing to UN as part of peacekeeping. And we looked at our strengths in South Africa. One of our strengths really is around the empowerment of women. Very few peacekeeping forces have women in their forces. And we have more than 30% of women in peacekeeping. And we've seen the benefit of having women in peacekeeping areas. There's less sexual exploitation and abuse that will come, and there's really support for colleagues. So we offered training around the empowerment of women, the training of women, and the support for women. We also feel that we have been into quite a number of peacekeeping missions. We have developed expertise in that area as to what commanders need to do, what different troops, and how do you organize yourselves. We've also committed around training. We think we have some of the best facilities in the world for training, and we have the skills and the expertise. So we made about 6 commitments, which are around gender, around training of different levels, but also information sharing, but also commit, because UN still needs countries to commit either human beings or equipment. We also committed that as and when we have the right equipment to be able to be taken to a peacekeeping mission, we will be able to also contribute. So we did make our commitments, but it was an extremely helpful, a very important conference in Berlin.
Before I let you go, Minister, we're here at Denel. It's under DOD. How are things here? Are you on the mend? Are you bouncing back?
I'm excited about us having Denel back. Even before I came here, we had a meeting where we're looking at the role of Denel against Arms Corps and also what our needs are. And we really are hopeful that as soon as Denel comes back to its full capacity, it will not only contribute towards skills that we need as a country, skills that our young people must really or can get. Unfortunately, the war industry is also very good industry in terms of skills, in terms of job creation. So we'll get our engineers to come and work with us, but Denel also give us an opportunity as Defence Force not only to contribute to the Defence Force, but to the country. For instance, if they train young people on how to repair planes, they will service SAA, they will service the police, but they'll also get skills which they can use in the market. So I'm very hopeful and very excited with what we are doing with Denel, to turn around Denel, and we're really looking forward to getting, I mean, it's a great asset we inherited from apartheid, and we should really use it to the maximum for the sake of the country. So I'm excited about having Denel back into the fold.
All right. Minister, thank you so much indeed with your team. Really, Juliet, looking at the current situation in as far as the SANDF is concerned, but also we know that the process of the withdrawal of semi-DRC from the eastern parts of DRC, that's a very major issue as well, among other things. So with that, back to you in studio.
Apologies for that poor network connection there. That was our reporter Khayelihle Khumalo speaking to Defence and Military Veterans Minister Angie Motshekga as the SANDF gears up to withdraw its troops in the Eastern DRC.